friends, welcome back to my channel, Learn Smart Coding. This is Karthik, thanks for joining with me today. In this video, I'm going to walk you through basic Git commands that you need for your everyday work. As a developer, it is required for you to know all these basic commands. So without delay, come let's get started. First thing first, let's open up google.com and this is how we usually search, right? So instead of me giving you the direct URL, let's go from there. So let's put Git for Windows, or you can also say Git for Linux, and then it will give you search results. The first one you see, git-sem, that's the official website. So I'm gonna search again and click on the first one. Let's go back to that page. See here, once you land on this page, based on your OS, it could be a Mac, Linux or Windows, based on what you have on your system, click on that and download the right file. It could be a 64-bit or a 32-bit. So my machine is Windows 64-bit. I have downloaded that. You can see that in the right panel, right top side. So I've downloaded that. I've already installed it. Now let's check what we have on your system. Open up the command prompt, say git dash dash version. See, my machine has 2.23.0. That's the version that I have. So before we jump onto the repository and go ahead and see all those commands, let's do the configuration first. So open up the command prompt I've opened up and use git config dash dash global and user.name and provide the username. So basically this command is going to set your username based on what you do. This is the name that it will go, and similarly set the email address, user.email address. I'm going to provide my email address, so whenever I check in, whenever I do any changes using my machine, it will record as learnsmartcoding@gmail.com and then learn smart coding as a name. Now what's the difference between various options? So here we have three options. One is the dash dash global, one is a local. So local is basically only for that particular repository, and then if you use system, it's across all the users in your machine, right, irrespective of what you have. So global is basically for the logged in user for all the repository in the system. So I have an GitHub account, Learn Smart Coding, and under that I've created a brand new repository called Git for Everyday Work. And this repository is the one that I'm going to use for the today's demo and show you what happens with creating branches, files, and so on. Now, if you see, click on the right side code and copy this URL. That's the repository's Git URL. Okay, so you can copy this and keep it. You can also download the whole code. There's no code. Basically, you can download the repository using download zip, and let's do it in the right way. So I have copied it. So I'm going to open up the command prompt, and first command that I'm going to use that you're going to learn is git clone. Paste the URL that you have. So you see, I have done it. I have cloned it, and there is one file inside the folder. Let's switch to that folder, and this is the only file that is there in the repository as well. Okay, this is just a demo, so don't worry about any file contents. There's one file, and that's what we have downloaded. Okay, now I'll show you something interesting. If you go and do a view hidden files, there is a file called .git, and which is hidden. Inside that there's a lot of files, folders and everything, right? So don't worry about all these things. If you want to know deep, only then you should know about all these things. So this is the place where the Git will record all your changes, mergers, all the tracking will happen inside this folder. Okay, that's why it is hidden. You don't need to worry about it. So let's go back and hide it. The next command that I wanted to use is I needed to add some files. That's what you do, right? So you have a project, you wanted to add some file, you will delete, you will modify some files. So let's go through one by one. Let's say I have a file called 1.txt. Okay, so I'm going to create a file called 1.txt, and I'm also going to copy paste the same file and rename it. So let's have a couple of files, and I'll show you various commands to add those files. So let's copy paste, and right now we have 3 files. Okay, so the next command that you will learn is git add followed by the file name. So if you specify git add followed by the file name, that specific file will be added in the tracking changes. Okay, so the 1.txt is tracked. How do I know that? The next command that you will learn is git status. So once you put git status, you see the one that we added, that's why it's showing as green color, and the current branch is showing as origin master. And you can also see untracked files. You see those untracked files are showing as red. It just sits in the folder, nothing is done. Okay, so if I have 100 files, I don't want to use this command 100 times. So what do? You can use star git add star or git add space dash dash all. Now see, all the remaining files also added. You can see all those things with the git status. 3 files added and showing as a green. The next thing that you have to do is to commit these changes, right? The next command is git commit dash m. Dash m shows you can add some message to your commit. So message is initial commit. I added it. Next is git push origin master. So this is the next command. So what it does is it's going to stage all the files. All the files has been added to the master branch. I'm going to refresh this. You can see all the files added here directly just now. Okay. All right. So you learned a couple of commands. Now the next basic thing that we will have to do is, let's clear this. Now the next thing is git branch. Git branch will show you the branches that is there in your repository. The one that we have is just a master and it's showing us green because that's the current branch that we have. To list all the branch, you say git branch dash dash list. Right now there is no other branch other than master. That's why nothing is showing up. Wait for a few more minutes. We will go through adding a lot of branch and see how it works. The next command that we will use is git checkout dash b followed by the branch name. So this will check out the branch that we are typing here and it will also create that branch. Okay. So we are going to create a branch called feature slash first. So that branch is a brand new branch created and it is also checked out. You see the switch to a new branch called feature slash first. Now, if you put a git status, you can see we are there currently on this branch. There's nothing to commit. And if you do a list, you see git branch is going to show you all the branch which is there in my repository. Okay, and the one which is showing in green is the current branch and you see the star mark. Now if you see list git branch dash dash list, it will going to list all the branch from the remote server also, but right now we don't have any other branches in the remote server, so it's okay. Now what we do, we will use the next command. So these are the basic commands. So let's go back to the folder. If you see, we have added a new folder. So under this folder, what we will do, we will create a new file called fipt.txt. It's just a file. Okay, different scenarios I'm trying to explain. Now we are in the new branch. We created a file. You see there is an untracked file called fipt.txt. So let's add that file. The regular statement that we add, git add dash dash all, will add all the files to this branch. We're going to commit with a message file added. Okay, so one file added, and we will push this to this branch. Which branch? The branch that we just created, feature slash first branch. Okay, so we are doing this. Earlier we did to master branch. Now the fifth file which is added is in the second branch. You see this? If I switch to that branch, that fifth file is present here, but if I switch back to master, the fifth file is not present here because we never merged. What you can do generally, once you have these things, you can create a pull request and you can merge actually. So if you go back to the screen, the next scenario that I'm going to explain you is, you as a developer within your team, parallelly the development will go on, right? So let's say you have a develop branch or the main branch where people are checking in their code, so which means you're behind those check-ins, right? So you need to put that content into your branch to keep that updated. So that is what we are going to mimic now. So on the screen, if you see, the master branch has a new file called new files on master, right? That's the file that someone has checked into this branch. Okay, so we don't have that file. So how do we get that file into our branch? So that is what we're going to see. So now for that, you first check out the master branch. In your case, it could be develop branch or the main branch. So the current branch is feature slash one. So we are going to check out the master branch. So git checkout master will put you into the master branch. Now next command that you will see is git pull. It is going to pull all the remote content into your local. So we have all the data now on the master branch. Okay, the new file also. So now in order to get the content of this master into our branch, first we will check out to our branch. Git checkout feature slash one. This will check out to our branch. Now what you do, a new command you're going to learn. Git merge. So git space merge space branch name. So branch name is nothing but from which branch you wanted to pull to our branch. In our case, master branch. So we now pulled all the master branch content to our branch. Okay. So you see the one file that was changed was added. Now what we do the regular work. So we commit all the changes, we add all the changes to the staging environment, meaning to the staging level, and then we then push it to the current branch. So we just simply use git push origin head. Origin head is nothing but the current branch. So we have all the commits to our changes. So we are going to push that to the current branch. You can use the branch name or you can also use as head. Both the same. Now you see our branch also got the file that was there in the master page. The next scenario that I'm going to explain you is, let's say you have the repository URL. Okay, however, you're not going to clone it from there. You already have the content somewhere, right? Like you have the content present in your system. You want to take that content into the repository to any of the branch. Okay, so how do you do that? So that is what we are going to see next. Back on my screen, so I have a folder called new content. Inside that, let's say I have two files. Okay, it could be anything. So I'm going to push this to the new existing repository. So open up that location into your command prompt, and what you need to do is, first you need to initialize the git to the folder. Okay, so git init will initialize the folder. Now let's copy the remote URL. Okay, now we need to link these two. So in order to do that, use git remote add origin followed by the git URL. Now see, these two are linked now actually. If you do a git status spelling mistake, so let's put it right way. Git status, see, we are on the master branch. Okay, and you can see which files are tracked, which files are not tracked. So those two new files are not tracked. Okay, so we are going to use git or checkout origin master. Now we have the content got into our system. Now let's do a git pull. All right, so we have the data pulled in. Now what we do a git checkout and create a new branch. Okay, so this branch, before we go to that branch, first let's do a checkout to the master branch, and everything is up to date. We saw with the git pull. So now what we do, we will have to push this content. Correct, we have these two files. So in order to push this to a new branch, so we use git checkout dash b and then followed by the new branch. So this branch name is features class second, just to differentiate with a different branch. Okay, so now what we do, then we merge the content from the master branch to this branch. Okay, it's all up to date. If something was new, it will show us. Right now we have everything ready, so we will commit the existing content. So the two files that we have, right, the png file and the other one. So let's first do a git add dash dash all. So that will bring up all the untracked files to a tracking stage, and it will stage all those files. So it's currently doing now. All right, so it's done. Now let's do a commit. See, two files changed, added, and then what do? We do a push, a git push origin head, or you can also use a git push origin followed by the branch name. So our branch name is features class second, so that's why you can use that as well. And you can see all the changes has been pushed to the branch. And let's go back to the URL and see. So right now I'm on the master page. I refreshed it. You can see the second branch, features class second, was showing up, and you can also see all the content from the master branch as well as the two content from our folder. You can see the png file and the text file which was present in our second, the folder also is present here. So you can see both. Now generally, once you have these things ready in your branch, right, you can raise a pull request. We call it as PR. You might have heard about it or used it in your day-to-day work life, right? So you create a pull request and try to merge from your feature branch to the main branch, the develop branch, based on the work that you're doing. And this is how you create the PR, and it goes for the review. They can comment, and then you can just merge the code. All right, the final scenario that I'm going to explain you is, like, you all are working in a team, and let's say it happened to be that a file was modified by more than one developer and someone checked in it, right? So meaning a file which was modified by your peer developer checked in, and you also modified in the same file. It happened to be the line conflicts came. So we are going to mimic that scenario, and I'll show you how to resolve the merge conflicts. Okay, so that's what we're going to see now. To do that, I am on a master branch, and in the master branch you can see there are many files, right? So I'm going to open up this git dash command text file, and let's edit a live there. We're going to mimic this situation. Okay, so I'm going to type something. There's one line, let's say there's one line in this file. Okay, my master file has one line, and I'm going to commit the change, which means we're pretending that someone has already checked in and they have modified this file. Okay, now what we are going to do, we are going to go to our branch. The branch that we have is the feature slash second. Okay, so in this file, let's go to the same file, git dash command dot text file. Okay, you see the second file. I'm going to open up the second file and under this branch, and let's add some content, meaning both were empty. Now you added some content to the first line from this branch, as well as someone else committed directly onto the master branch, right, through their PR. Right, this is the situation. Now what we do, we are going to see how conflicts will arise and how to resolve that. So let's switch. So let's do a git status. We know this file is modified. Let's add this file and stage it to our second branch, the feature slash second branch. Okay, so we do a git commit, we put a message, dash m will give us a message option. So we are providing a message, commit message. Once we put this, we will push this content, the modified content, to our second branch, the feature slash second branch. Okay, so git push origin head will push all the content to this branch. Now what we know is this file is modified, that file is modified in both the branches. Okay, so let's check out the master. Let's pull all the content from the master branch, which means whatever we edited there is pulled in. Now let's go back to our branch, feature slash second. So git checkout feature slash second. This will switch the branch. Now we will merge, git merge master. So you see conflict came, which is expected, right? That is our scenario. There is a conflict. It is saying it cannot auto merge. We need to manually do it. So let me show you a simple way of doing this, right? I'm going to open up this folder itself into Visual Studio Code. So use code space dot will open up the Visual Studio Code of this project. See, it opened up. So let me zoom this in. Let's go to view appearance, zoom in, so you could see this clearly. I'm opening a new terminal and this opens up in the PowerShell. You can use git command in PowerShell, bash, or the regular command prompt. Everything is going to work. You see the file that was showing as conflict is showing here. Okay, it's easy for us to see this visually in a editor. So either you can accept the change, the incoming change, or you accept both the change and then modify what change you want. You can reject some change. Now I accepted both the change. That's why the content from the master branch content came in, and the content which we hold on to our branch also stayed here. That's why we have two lines here. All right, so now we resolve the merge conflicts. Now we need to stage these content to our branch. So git commit and then followed by put a message, and then we are staging this content. Everything is added. Okay, looks there's an error because we missed it. First we need to add the files, right? So git add dash dash all. We added the content, and then you do a commit followed by the push. So add the content which will stage, then commit, then do a push. So git push origin head or origin followed by the branch name, feature slash second. Now see, every content has been added here. All right, let's go back to our repository, refresh it. You see this content, this file inside this branch has both lines, but in the master it has only one. And that's how you guys will have to resolve the conflicts. It just for one file, conflicts can arise in many files, but concept is all same. I hope you enjoyed this video. You learned a lot of git commands that you will use it in your workday going forward. Let me know in the comment section how this video was, and also if you have any questions, don't forget to put it in the comment section and I'll be happy to help you guys. Thanks for watching. If you liked my video, don't forget to subscribe my channel, like it, share it, comment it, and never forget to click on the bell icon.